Welcome to our presentation of the memorials in the Allied Special Forces Memorial Grove at the National Memorial Arboretum, which honour the soldiers of the Special Air Service and Special Forces support soldiers, without whom no one can operate. Most of these soldiers were lost in conflict, but many passed away peacefully after their service. And after their service, they probably led very adventurous lives. The soldiers honoured here in the Grove would mostly have operated behind enemy lines, whether it be in Korea, Malaya, Borneo, Oman, Yemen, the Falklands, or Iraq, and perhaps a few more as well that we still don't know about. The first grouping of memorials are in the sunroom, where two memorial benches honour Lofty Don Large, Alex Spence, and a plaque to Nick Brown, and also to all the soldiers who lost their lives in the Falklands conflict. We must remember most of those that lost their lives in the fatal helicopter crash. However, Captain John Hamilton was the only SAS soldier to actually die in combat. That was in 1982. The second grouping of memorials is near the start of the Grove, but virtually opposite the pillbox, which, for those pillbox buffs, is a Type 24 pillbox, set there along the River Tame during the Second World War as a line of defence. Here you'll find Reg Taylor, SRN, MBE, who started the first medical aid training for SAS soldiers back in the very, very early 70s, of which I attended as well on many occasions. SAS soldiers working with the United Nations partisan forces in Korea also lost their lives operating behind enemy lines in North Korea. Added to this, there is a memorial to Lewis Collins, who most people might know from the professionals as Bodie, who did actually complete SAS selection and also serve with 10 Para TA. Thank you. The third grouping of SAS memorials in the Grove commences with the one to Captain John Hamilton, who lost his life in combat in 1982 at a place called Many Branch Point on West Falklands. His patrol, his observation post, was disturbed by Argentinian soldiers, and he took up the fight with them. Sadly, he died in that piece of combat. As we move round the Grove and around the sunroom, to the left, you'll find the Battle of Mirbat Memorial, which honours all of those who fought at Mirbat in 1972, particularly Laba Laba, who was firing the 25-pounder field gun over open sights, despite being wounded. It involves Takavizi, Walid Khamis, the Omani gunner, and Tommy Tobin, Mike Keeley, and all the other lads who were there firing their guns into the Adu when over 250 communist terrorists attacked the port of Mirbat in Oman. As you go past this one, you'll find a small memorial to Paddy Brady, who rather enhanced all the medical aid training that Reg Taylor had already started. Steve Moores was one of the first soldiers to lose his life in Dhofar during Op Jaguar. Next to him is Bill Stoker, who is an ex-RAF pilot on loan to the Sultan of Oman's Air Force, who was flying his Strike Master aircraft in at the Battle of Mirbat and helped those lads save their lives as the battle commenced. Taff Isles and the helicopter crew in the Yemen sadly ploughed into the side of a mountain and all 4 were lost. The helicopter crew are also noted on this plaque. Trooper Norrie King, the next one along the line, spent most of his time in the jungle, we understand. And when he came out, he became a civilian. Bob Casilio has a separate plaque to the Bravo 20 memorial seat. And then Ian Jock Thompson, who was shot in the leg during a confrontation in Indonesia, also went on to work with the Polish delegation in Lebanon and received their Cross of Merit for his services therein. Next is Sailor Mayne, who distinguished himself by being Merchant Navy, Royal Navy, Parachute Regiment, SAS, and then joined the Chelsea Pensioners, and he was always welcome in the pubs in Hereford wearing his lovely red cape and his kepi. Well remembered. Next is the Bravo 20 seat, where Vince Phillips, Bob Casilio, Stephen Legs Lane, and Dave Denbury are commemorated. Following through, you'll see a old tram seat, which Taff Hughes is honoured on. You can look at the lake one way on this seat or move the seat backwards, and you can look at the Armed Forces Memorial, but that will be in the distance on a very fine day with no leaves on the trees. As you move round and face the sunroom, a most beautiful sundial provided by the family of Philip Carras, who lost his life in the helicopter crash. Also here in the Special Air Service Memorial Garden in the Grove, you will find a memorial to John Lofty Arfey, who lost his life in the fatal helicopter crash in 1982. A separate memorial is beside the sundial to Philip Carras, and that honours John Heron. Thank you. All the plaques, all the memorials, and helping out with all the gardens and the maintenance therein. If you would like to help us with this, then please visit the last pages of this presentation, where you can donate on our GoFundMe site, or you can link into our website, Allied Special Forces memorialgrove.org, and increase your knowledge of all the memorials in this grove. Thank you for listening. Bye for now.